Today we'll look at what Harry Clarke is known for, what stands out about his illustration style, and how to apply his style to your own work. Harry Clarke was known for his stained glass art, which was the family business, but he aspired to be a book illustrator, and his creative approach produced interesting results. His peculiar style was well suited for narratives with a quirky mix of supernatural, macabre, spicy, nightmarish, and sometimes enchanting. Faust, Perrault, Poe, and the sorts. I found a wide range of his works online. Many are public domain, and you'll find links in the description along with a list of the art supplies I used in this video. Clarke used a delightful range of ornate textures and imaginative compositions, perhaps because of his stained glass background. The resulting techniques lean on silhouetting, with a lot of black on black. Subjects are two-dimensional, like shadow puppets, and he uses the rich goth patterns that we see. I did a preliminary sketch using markers of one of his pieces to get a feel for his approach to illustration. I chose this image from Edgar Allan Poe's Tales of Mystery and Imagination. It's a good representative sample of the key elements of his techniques, which I found to be the 2D shadow puppet characters with the long skinny bones, the black on black, and goth patterns. And then I switched to dip pens and India ink in my moleskin sketchbook for a study of this mermaid illustration from Very Nearly by Queenie Scott Hopper. At first, the rich patterns seem intimidating, but they go something like this. For these boulders that look covered in seaweed and shells, he does follow the form with the direction of the strokes to create patterns. He builds the patterns in layers gradually. What gives it that rich complexity is that he varies the shapes of the pattern. Long, short, small, large, and some shapes are slightly off angle. Additionally, he varies the stroke weights. Some of the line weights contribute to a sense of atmospheric perspective, except that he breaks that rule here and there, giving priority to pattern variety with the line weights because his style faithfully has a two-dimensional quality. I began the study using a crow quill, which is a small flexible nib, then quickly changed to a bigger nib to more closely simulate his strokes. Again, likely because of his stained glass background, he uses rather thick contour lines. I aim to find the source of light to establish highlights and shadows out of habit mostly because I dare say the direction of light is less critical with Clarke's style. There are clues that the light might be coming from the top left-hand side. However, from my observations of his work, I concluded that he places greater emphasis on pattern variety to describe the subject, which in turn acts as tonal values. Now, this is just a feeling I got while studying his work. It's almost as though the light seeps through the image, comparable to light reflected through a pane of glass. Maybe. That's just how it felt from my perspective. What do you see? It was so delightful to be immersed in these illustrations. I was holding my breath the whole time doing these studies. If you're a regular viewer of my channel or you've taken my dip pen course, you'll know that I advise inking left to right on the picture plane if you're right-handed. I did not follow my protocol for the study. My excuse is that it's been a while since I've used dip pens for a piece, and I'm so excited about inking Clarke illustrations. It's just too cool, to be honest. Anyways, moving on. I used the number 1 brush for the solid blacks, then back to my crow quill to ink the little girl and the grassy knolls positioned further from the viewer in the picture plane. The grass has sort of this interlocking pattern, like so, and variations of it. For this second part of the study of the same piece, I noticed Clarke's influence on another artist whom I admire. Last September, I went to a James Jean exhibit and sketched some of his pieces there. The hair in particular, and how he builds patterns to enhance the narrative to me, they give off a Clarke-ish vibe. Do you see it? Let me know if there's interest in a James Jean feature. His sketchbook in particular are especially informative for tips on discipline as an artist. For how to apply some of these techniques or style elements to your own piece, I created this piece that I call the two-sword dance. I thought it was a good fit. It's to ward off evil spirits and bring calm in the new year because we are close to Christmas and the new year. I started with a sketch to figure out the anatomy and composition, and then I introduced the Clarke stylization to it. After redrawing it in a clean version on Strathmore smooth inking paper, I went ahead with the ink application, again using dip pens, applying what I learned from the previous studies. I stayed with the long bony character, that two-dimensional quality like a shadow puppet. I used black on black and a rich variety of the goth patterns. If you enjoyed this style of illustration, you may also like this study with Sergio Topi. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.